ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Hukamnama Sahib today is by Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj on Ang 596 of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਸੋਰਠ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਚੌ-ਤੁਕੇ। माए बाप को बेटा नीका ससुरै चतुर जवाई बाल कन्या कौ बाप प्यारा भाई कौ आते भाई। माए बाप को बेटा नीका ससुरै चतुर जवाई बाल कन्या कौ बाप प्यारा ਭਾਈ ਕਉ ਅਤੇ ਭਾਈ। ਹੁਕਮ ਭਇਆ ਬਾਹਰ ਘਰ ਛੋਡਿਆ ਖਿਨ ਮਹਿ ਭਈ ਪਰਾਈ। ਨਾਮ ਦਾਨ ਇਸਨਾਨ ਨਾ manmukh ਤਿਤ ਤਨ ਧੂੜ ਤੁਮਾਈ। ਮਨ ਮਾਨਿਆ ਨਾਮ ਸਖਾਈ ਪਾਏ ਪਰੋ ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਬਲਿਹਾਰੈ। ਜਿਨੇ ਸਾਚੀ ਬੂਝ ਬੁਝਾਈ ਰਹਾਓ ਜਗ ਸਿਉ ਝੂਠ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਮਨ ਬੇਤਿਆ ਜਨ ਸਿਉ ਵਾਦ ਰਚਾਈ। ਮਾਇਆ ਮਗਨ ਅਹਨਿਸ ਮਗ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਨਾਮ ਨ ਲੇਵੈ ਮਰੈ ਬਿਖ ਖਾਈ। ਗੰਧਣ ਵੈਣ ਰਤਾ ਹਿਤਕਾਰੀ ਸਬਦੈ ਸੁਰਤ ਨ ਆਈ। ਰੰਗ ਨ ਰਾਤਾ ਰਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੇਤਿਆ manmukh ਪਾਤੇ ਗਵਾਈ। ਸਾਧ ਸਭਾ ਮਹਿ ਸਹਜ ਨ ਚਾਖਿਆ ਜਿਹਬਾ ਰਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਾਈ। ਮਨ ਤਨ ਧਨ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਰ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਦਰ ਕੀ ਖਬਰ ਨ ਪਾਈ। ਅੱਖੀਂ ਮੀਟ ਚਲਿਆ ਅੰਧਿਆਰਾ ਘਰ ਦਰ ਦਿਸੈ ਨ ਭਾਈ। ਜਮਦਰ ਬਾਧਾ ਠੌਰ ਨ ਪਾਵੈ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੀਆ ਕਮਾਈ। ਨਦਰ ਕਰੇ ਤਾ ਅੱਖੀ ਵੇਖਾਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਥਨ ਨ ਜਾਈ। ਕੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਸਬਦ ਸਲਾਹੀ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਹਿਰਦੈ ਵਸਾਈ। ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਪੂਰਨ ਜੋਤਿ ਸਮਾਈ। ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਵਿਣ ਭਰਮ ਨ ਭਾਗੈ ਸਾਚੇ ਨਾਮ ਵਡਿਆਈ। ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਪੂਰਨ ਜੋਤਿ ਸਮਾਈ। ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਵਿਣ ਭਰਮ ਨ ਭਾਗੈ ਸਾਚੇ ਨਾਮ ਵਡਿਆਈ। ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ. Today is the blessing of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, and Satguru Sahib Ji is speaking to us today in Sorat'h Ragni. Guru Sahib Ji, their Shabad is in Chau-Tukas, which means each part of the Shabad has Chau-Tukas, has 4 lines to it. And Satguru Maharaj Sahib Ji begins the Shabad, Maye Baap ko beta nika sasurai chatur javai. Maye Baap, to the mother and father, Beta Nika. Beta means a son. The son who is Nika, the son who is virtuous, the son who follows what they say, the son who is obedient to them, the son who looks after the wealth of his father, the son who respects his mother and father. Maharaj Sahib Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj told us that Mai Baap ko Beta Nika, that son is pleasing to the mother and father. Sasurai chatur javai. And Sasurai, to the in-laws, a chatur javai. Chatur means clever. And what does this mean? Someone who's clever, someone who's wise. That son-in-law who can look after their daughter, he is loved, he is respected, he is admired by his in-laws. And Guru Sahib Ji goes on to explain, Baal kanya ko baap pyara. That to the young, Baal means young, Kanya means daughter. To the young daughter, baap pyara. Her father is pyara, her father is beloved. She looks up to, she depends upon, and she respects her father. Pai kau ate pai. And to a brother, his other brothers are very, very loved by him, very, very respected. And in Punjabi, brothers are called Sajji Baan, which means right arm. So It's as if the brothers are the limbs of each other. And Maharaj Sahib Ji talks about all of these worldly connections, all of these worldly relations. And then Maharaj Sahib Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Hukum paya, when the command comes from Akal Purakh, from Vaheguru, Bahar kar shodya. Then what happens? Kar shodya. Shodya means to leave. The soul which is within this kar, this body, has to go bahar, has to leave and go outside. Hukum paya bahar kar shodya. The hukum has come, the command has come, that this soul must shodya, must leave this kar, this body, and go bahar, go outside, go into the next reincarnation. Kinamahapai prai. And when this soul leaves the body, Maharaj Sahib Ji says that in a second, in an instant, all of those relations, the relations of mother and father, relations of in-laws, the relationship of sons and daughters, the relationship of brothers, kin and maha, in a second, pai parai, all of these things become parai. Parai means alien. Literally, parai means in this case that all of those relationships are cut through. All of those relationships are severed. Death comes and it cuts through all of these relationships. That relationship of brother to brother, that relationship of mother to son, that relationship of daughter to father, all of those relationships melt away. And if you think about it, if someone's alive and we try to burn them, their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, all of those relations, they won't let us burn them. But when that human being dies, when that soul leaves, then we all get together, all of the relations, and we put him or her upon the funeral pyre. In a second, all of those things have been broken. In an instant, all of those relationships have been broken. And Maharaj Sahib Ji tells us that when our soul leaves, it leaves by itself. None of these relations, none of these connections can help us. And Guru Maharaj Ji in Sukhmani Sahib, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj tells us, Jah Mat Pita Sut Meet Na Pai. On that path, our mother, our father, our sons and daughters, our brothers cannot help us. Man, O my mind, Uha Naam Tere Sang Sahai. In that place, only the name of the Lord will be sung, will be with you. And Guru Sahib Ji goes on to say, Naam Dan is Nan Na manmukh. That person who follows his mind, who is manmukh, who doesn't listen to what the Guru says, that person doesn't engage in Naam, meditating upon the name of the Lord, Dan, giving 1/10 of his earnings as dasvand, giving to the Guru's causes, giving to the causes of the betterment of humanity, Isnan. And mentally, spiritually and physically, he doesn't bathe himself to take away the dirt of those sins. And Guru Sahib Ji says that that person who hasn't engaged in Naam, Dan and Ishnan, that person who hasn't engaged in the meditation upon the Lord, charity and daya, kindness, and Ishnan, and spiritual and physical cleanliness, Maharaj Sahib Ji says, Tet tan tood tumai, that within that person's tan, within that person's body, there is tumai. Tumai, one interpretation of this word means a fog, of tood, of dust. What is the dust? The dust is of ego, the dust is of anger, the dust is of desires, the dust is of hatred. And within the body there is this cloud of dust. And on another level, Maharaj Sahib Ji says that Titatan, that body, Tood Tumai, ends up, Tumai also means to roll in, Tood, in the dust. And how does that happen? When we are burnt, and when our ashes collect, what happens to them? They are scattered upon the earth, they are scattered into the water, and they just roll back into the dust. And that's all that happens. Maharaj Sahib Ji says that with that body which was meant to meditate upon the Lord, that body is born, lives, dies, and becomes dust, and is not used for what it's meant to be used for. And Maharaj Sahib Ji says, but on the other hand, what is the understandings of the Gurmukh? And Guru Nanak Pasha Ji blesses us. Maharaj Sahib Ji says, Man manya naam sakhai. That those Gurmukhs whose mind has manya, whose mind has accepted, their mind has bowed down to and taken on and understood that Naam Sakhai, through the grace of the Guru, that only the Naam, only the name of the Lord is the true relation. Sakhai is the true friend. Paaye paro gur ke balihara. And where does this understanding come from? Maharaj Sahib Ji says that this understanding comes from the Guru. And Maharaj Sahib Ji says that I fall again and again at the Guru's feet. Gur ka balihar hai. Bale har hai. Bal meaning power, strength. Har hai means to surrender. When you surrender all your strength to the Guru, when you say that I have no wisdom, Maharaji, I have no jap tap, no penance or austerities. Maharaj Sahib Ji, I have no intellect. Maharaj Sahib Ji, I am nothing. And you fall at the feet of the Guru and you accept the Guru's sharan, the Guru's protection. Then what happens? Jin sachi booj bujai. Then the Guru gives you the booj, the understanding of truth. Maharaj Sahib Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and Japji Sahib, they say, Gura ek dehe bujai, sabna jiya ka ek data, so main visar na jai. O Gura, Paye paro Guru ke balhare. Maharaj Sahib Ji says, fall at the feet of the Guru and do this ardas. Gura, O Guru Sahib Ji, O great Lord, ik dehe bujai, please give me the understanding of that one Lord, that ik oankar. Sabna jiya ka ik data, let me understand that there is one Lord pervading through all. So main visar na jai, and may I never forget that Lord. Maharaj Sahib Ji says, fall to the Guru's feet. Surrender all of your wisdom, all of your wealth, all of your intellect to the Guru. And say that you have nothing. Go in front of the Guru and do ardas like Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Jap tap sanyam dharm na kamaya. I haven't lived my life righteously. I have no jap tap. I have no penance or austerities. Seva sadhana janya hararaya. I don't know how to perform the service of the Lord. Kaho Nanak hum nij karma. Maharaj Sahib Ji says that my karam, my fortunes are lowly. Sarn pareki rakho sarma. Just save me, I have fallen to your feet. That is the way of getting the Sachi Booj, the true understanding. Rahul, pause and think about this. Jag syo jhoot preet man bedya, jan syo vaad rachai. Maharaj Sahib Ji says that jag syo jhoot preet, that with this jug, with this world, we have jhoot preet, we have false love for this world, for material gains. Man bedya, and our mind is pierced through with this false love of the world. What does pierced through mean? What does bidya mean? The center of all our thoughts. To be pierced through means to pierce through the center of something. And our mind, what is the center of our mind? What is always the center of our attention? As we say in English, center of attention. The center of attention is always material gain, is always this world. And Maharaj Sahib Ji says that that's true, to breed, that's false love. Jansyo vadar chai. And when we are ego-centered, we are not God-centered. Maharaj Sahib Ji is telling us, when we have that egocentric, that Maya-centric, that mind which is always revolving around illusion, Janasyo vadar chai, then we even have vad, we even have arguments with the Jan, with the humble servants of the Lord. That's when we say, oh, what is the point of listening to Kirtan? What is the point of doing Simran like these people say? There's no point. That's when we have arguments with the Jan. There are only arguments with the beloved of the Lord. We only have those arguments and those excuses and those falling out with the humble beings when we are in the entanglement of this chut, preet, of this false love. Amara Sahib Ji goes on to tell us, Maya magan ahanus mag jo hai. We are magan, we are completely intoxicated by Maya, by this illusion of the world around us, by material gain. Ahanis, day and night. Mag jo hai, we look to, we always walk upon, mag, this path of attachment. Naam na leve. And in this path of attachment, we never live, we never meditate upon the Naam, the name of the Lord. Amara Sahib Ji says, what's the result of this? Mara. We die. How? Bekakai. By completely gorging ourselves, by eating again and again poison. And what poison is this? The poison of narcotics on one level. And on another level, the poison of Maya, this illusion of material good. Attachment is a poison. Anger is a poison. And these poisons kill us spiritually and physically. Amara Sahib Ji says, Gandharna Van Ratta Hitakari, that we are Ratta, we are completely imbued with Hitakari, and we have so much love for Gandharna Van. Van means those sounds, that speech. Gandharn, which is impure, which is vicious, which is eating away at us. We always listen to slander, which is eating away at us spiritually. We always listen to those things which make our mind go into desire. Amara Sahib Ji says, Shabad Sorat'h na aayi, that the manmukh, the being who follows his mind, does not have Sorat'h, does not have consciousness, doesn't wake up, doesn't have the Sorat'h, doesn't have the consciousness of the Shabad. The consciousness of the manmukh never wakes up to the Shabad. Shabad Sorat'h na aayi. Rang na rata, Mara Sahib Ji says that the one who follows his mind, Rang na rata, is not coloured in the rang, in the love of God. Rasa nahi bedya. And is not bedya, is not pierced through by the essence of the Naam, the ras of the Naam, the pleasure of God's name. Why? Because our mind is pierced through at the moment with worldly pleasures. And we have to change this in order to have the Naam pleasure, the pleasure of God's name. Amara Sahib Ji says that our mind is not pierced through by the pleasure of God's name, the ras of God's name. Manmukh pat gavai. And in this way, the one who follows his mind loses all respect, loses all honour. Saad sabah meh sahaj na chakhya. In the sabah, in the company of the Saad of the saints, sahaj na chakhya. That being does not chakhya, does not taste the essence of sahaj, the essence of complete spiritual peace. Jihba ras nahi rai. And because of this, and because of not going into the Sangat, Mara Sahib Ji says that Jihba, upon that being's tongue of the manmukh, the one who follows his mind, there's no ras, there's no sweetness on their tongue. Whenever they speak, it's always full of anger. It's always full of curses for others. And we don't have the ras, upon our tongue we don't have the ras of Naam. We don't have the essence, the sweetness of God's name. The Gurmukh Pyare, forever and forever, by meditating upon Vaheguru, their tongue is sweetened by God's name. But those who follow the mind, they don't experience this sweetness. Amara Sahib Ji says, Man tan tan apna kar janya. That we have janya, we have known, we have called our man, our mind, the tan, the body, and the tan, the wealth. The mind within this body, and then the wealth which is gathered together by this body. We have said that this is ours, this all belongs to me. And in this ego, in this attachment, in this blindness, dar ki khabar na pai. Mara Sahib Ji says that the manmukh, the one who follows his or her mind, doesn't have the khabar, doesn't find the knowledge of the dar, of the door of the Lord. And what does this mean? That those of us who are engaged in ego, we never wake up and have the knowledge of the Sangat, never go into the Sangat. Why? Because we're too much attached to our mind, to our body, to our wealth. And we think, what is the point of going into the Sangat? We do not have that knowledge, we do not have that awakening to the Sangat. Amara Sahib Ji says, Akhi meet chalya andhyara, karo dara disana pai. When we close our eyes, and what does that mean? When we die, Akhi meet chalya, when we have to leave this world and our eyes closed forever and forever, andhyara, then we go into the deepest darkness. Kar dara disana pai. Amara Sahib Ji says that when you leave this world, if you have lived your life in the darkness of ignorance, Mara Sahib Ji says that at the court of the Lord, no one will say, oh, he was from this God, he was from this social status, or he had this much money, or this was his dar, this was how big his house was, or he had this much. No. As Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj tells us in Asa Diwar, Utthe Sache Hi Sach Nibbad hai. Only the truth is looked through then. Only what we have done is looked through then. When we go to the court of Dharmaraja, of the judge of righteousness. And this line also means Akhi meet chalya andhyara. The chalya, we walk along with our eyes closed. We are walking along with our eyes closed. Andhyara, and this is the darkness. One type of darkness is when there's darkness all around, our eyes are open and we're looking for somewhere, for some light, but we can't find any. That's one type of darkness. The second type of darkness is when we've closed our own eyes. Amara Sahib says the one who's following his mind, he's closed his own eyes. And Bhakt Kabir ji puts this beautifully in one of their sloks. Kahe ki kuslat. What is going on here? Haath deep kuएं pare. In his hand, the being has got a deep, has got a light, and a kuएं pare, but still falls into the well. Mara Sahib ji is telling us, Akhi meet, we've closed our eyes to the truth. The light is all around us. The Guru is always telling us the truth. But we close our eyes to the truth of the Guru. Kar dar desana pai. And we do not understand the kar, the true house of our being, where we're truly going to reside, in Akal Purkh, in Vaheguru. Jamdar badha thaur na pave. Amara Sahib ji says that being is badha, is tied up to the dar, to the door of Jam, of the angels of death. Thaur na pave. And never finds any rest. In this world, always attacked by desires, and in the next world, by the Jamduts, the angels of death. Apna kiya kamai. Amara Sahib ji says that everyone has to kamai, has to reap what they have sown. Apna kiya, of their karm, of their actions. And in this last part of the Shabad, Maharaj Sahib ji says, Nadar kareta akhi vekha. If Maharaj Sahib ji blesses us with nadar, with the glance of grace, ta akhi vekha, then with our own eyes we can see him pervading through all, like Bhai Kanhaiya ji walking through the Muslim, Hindu and Sikh soldiers and seeing Vaheguru ji, seeing Satguru ji, Guru Gobind Singh ji Maharaj looking back at him through all of their eyes. Kahana kathana jai, but Maharaj ji said that this avastha, this state of being, cannot be put into words, cannot be put into kathan, cannot be put into description. Kanni sorna sorna sabd salahi. What happens in this avastha, this state of being? Kanni sorna sorna. Those Gurmukh Pyare say, may I continually sorna sorna, again and again, listen with my ears to the Shabad, and with my tongue may I salahi, may I sing the praises of the Shabad, of the word of the Lord. Amrit hriday vasai. And may I vasai, may I embed within my heart the amrit, the immortal nectar of God's name. That is that avastha, that is that state of being. Nirpao, nirankar, nirvair. And if we ask Guru Sahib ji, what is God like? Maharaj ji says that God is nirpao, completely fearless. Nirankar, beyond all forms. Nirvair, and without any enmity. Doesn't see anyone as an enemy. Puran Jot Samai. And that Vaheguru ji's Jot, that Vaheguru ji's light is Samai, is pervading through all. And Maharaj Sahib ji says that those Gurmukh Pyare who reach this avastha, they Samai, they merge into this Puran Jot. And Guru Gobind Singh ji Maharaj tells us, Puran Jot jagah ghat mein, tab khalis tahe ne khalis janeh. That the true purity comes through merging into this light. This Puran Jot, this perfect light. Nanak, Sadguru Pasha ji says, Gurvin param na bhagay. Without the Guru param, our doubts cannot bhagay, cannot be dispelled, cannot be taken away. Only through the Guru, only through Gur Prasad. As Guru Sahib ji tells us in their Bani, Gur Prasad, through the Guru's grace, param ka nas. Doubts are destroyed. And how are the doubts destroyed? Sach Naam Vidya. When the Guru gives us the Vidya, the glory of Sach Naam, that true name, that eternal name of the Lord. Only through meditating upon the name of the Lord, and only through meditating upon the Vidya, the glory of the Lord, can this param, can these doubts be removed. And that is only found through Gur Prasad, through the Guru's grace. Nirpa nirankar nirvair, Puran Jyoti Samai, Nanak Gurvin param na bhagay, Sach Naam Vidyayi. Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh.